Hey guys, this is Jeremy from 78 Productions. This week we talked a lot about what it means to fail and the consequences of what failure looks like, how grace applies to the idea of failure. And this all has come about from a couple of different situations that have happened recently for me personally. One of the big ones is we talked in our small group last week about what it means to do something all in. And I had shared with you guys the passage about Peter, who gets grace from God. But if you read the passage right before it, it's actually amazing to see how Peter is so impulsive about what he does, that he can't wait the extra 5 minutes to row the boat in with all the fish, that he has to jump into the water to get to Jesus as fast as possible. And the idea of going all in, we also looked at the movie Up from Disney, and we watched about the first 15-18 minutes of it, where the guy meets his wife as a kid, grows up with her, gets married to her, has all these dreams of being able to take their house to Paradise Falls, all these kid-friendly kind of things. And whenever she passes away, he realizes he still needs to do this. He needs to do this for himself, for her. He made a promise. And so, just like Peter had jumped into the waters in the sea, he let go of the balloons. He did something amazing. He went all in. It wasn't this idea of whenever the people in Up had their dreams, they wanted to go to Paradise Falls. They wanted to take that trip. And so they would put some change into this jar. But things came along. He got hurt, something happened to the house, and so you'd always have to break the piggy bank to be able to do things that were in the immediate rather than these things that were all in kind of ideas. So I talked to the students and said, so what about you guys? You have these all in ideas that you need to be able to just go for it. Jump into the water. Yes, you can pray. Yes, you should be reading your Bible. Yes, you should be going to church. All these change ideas that we're always depositing a little bit into the bank. But sometimes there's just moments that cry out that we need to jump all in. We need to just jump over the boat no matter how impulsive it is. Whether it's inviting people to youth group or sharing your faith with somebody. All these different ideas that it's not the typical American Christian idea that we go all in with what we do. It's not just simply programs or weekly things or daily tasks that we feel like we have to do, but it's something that's been put on our heart to go all in with. And with that comes failure. And I think that that's kind of been a big troubling idea for teenagers, is what happens if you fail. And so we kind of discussed that. The thing that really sparked this conversation, though, was a couple of months ago, I had the vision that I wanted to be able to bring a second person here. We have 6 different schools that we work with, high school and middle school. It's impossible for one person to be able to take that on. We have InReach going really well, Outreach is just beginning to start up, and all these different ideas of what we could possibly be doing, a vision to be able to expand beyond just one person, to be able to go forward with the mission and the ministry here. So this idea of being able to go forward, we would need a second person. And so I talked to people, I talked to my supervisors, to the chaplains that I work with, and essentially the idea came back was, we need to catch the vision too. And so I had this great idea, I had this dream about wanting to go forward with, and essentially I got the no, I got the failure. It's just not something we can do right this second. But out of that failure, there was a couple of things that were amazing that happened. So my supervisor that I worked with directly, that I am always interacting with, I'm part of a parachurch organization, so I have to interact with them. That connection right there grew by leaps and bounds through this process of hearing no, having to struggle with, but this vision, I think this vision is from God, and this is where we need to head next. And to be able to share my heart about this aspect, to be able to open the communication lines a lot deeper than what it was, to be able to know that we can go a lot further in this ministry together than we can apart, has been amazing. And then also the idea that not only do I need that connection, but then they encouraged me that this is something that I need to have support, that I need to be able to have a community. And so instead of hearing no and that's the end of it, my supervisors, who I love so much, instead of saying no, said no for right now. Let's go about this with support. Let's have a committee that comes together. And I know some youth pastors hear committee and they're like, oh no, another thing to have to go to meetings for. But this idea of a committee is they are solely focused on youth ministry. They don't have anything to do with adult ministries. They don't have anything to do with pastoral care. It's solely youth ministry, so that they have my support, that they can offer resources that I might not be able to have, that they are able to support whenever this new person comes in, that the vision for everything that this ministry has between the two of us would be able to spread like wildfire. They can grow, that it's not just one person here doing this ministry, that it's a whole community going forward together. So it's been amazing to see this. So I say all that, and there's a lot to say, to ask, how have you guys dealt with failure? Failure is a regular part of life. If it doesn't happen for you, then you're doing something wrong, because failure needs to happen for growth to be able to come forward. And I think that that's what's happened with me interacting with my students, me interacting with my supervisors. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say below on the concept of failure. How has it impacted you? How have you been able to turn that negative into a positive? So we'll talk to you guys next week.